So Turki Sheikh has offered TalkSport the proverbial olive branch. Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to Me Edson. Hope you're well. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. So Turki Sheikh, His Excellency from Saudi Arabia, boxing of course, putting on all the big events, has offered lent a hand. A hand of goodwill, a gesture of goodwill, I should say. The olive branch to TalkSport. He went on to the Jim White show yesterday with Simon Jordan, right to the end of the show, and called in just to confirm that the Usyk and Fury rematch will be on December 21st now, and it's been pushed back from October. And also, basically, to invite Jim White and Simon Jordan to, well, upcoming boxing events. Now, there had been a lot of static between the two camps. Obviously, you know, Simon Jordan especially, but Jim White as well, and the whole of TalkSport have kind of been asking questions of these Saudi events. And so there's been a bit of static between the two. Also, we've got to say that because there's been such a close relationship with Tyson Fury and Saudi boxing in the kind of emergence of it, Tyson Fury's camp basically banned TalkSport from attending the events as well. So there's been a whole saga going on for quite a few months. But now it seems, no, Turki Sheikh has come in and said, look, want you there, want you to come, be part of it, and it seems as if they're gonna find a way forward and start having a presence there and hopefully broadcasting from there as well, but also getting interviews with the high profile fighters, of course, but also with the movers and shakers in the Saudi Arabia boxing scene. So what does this mean for the future of boxing? There's a few observations that I've made. First of all, and I've always said this, and this is what I think a lot of people still fail to realise, and this is what TalkSport and Simon Jordan especially has kind of been highlighting as well, and I totally agree, that the whole point of Saudi Arabia putting on these boxing events is to draw eyes onto Saudi Arabia. It is a PR campaign. Yes, they are really putting their emphasis on sports, which is going to attract a lot of eyes, but it is a promotion, it is marketing for the country as well. So that's why they're doing it. There's nothing wrong in that, if that's the way they want to do it, but that's it, that's fine. TalkSport have also said kind of like, well, you're taking this away from, you know, the UK and from the United States. Well, but also they're paying for it. It's their roadshow. It's their train set. Why can't they have it wherever they want? So I've never really quite seen that. The other aspect here is, well, just because it's gone to Saudi Arabia, the big fights, the huge fights, that doesn't mean that you can't have huge fights elsewhere, of course. And we've had some great contests here in the UK over the last 12 months. So in many ways, it's opened up the boxing scene, certainly in the UK. I can't really say for the United States, but certainly in the UK. I understand there's a bit of resentment from maybe the promoters who are not directly involved with the Saudi Arabia card. But listen, that's up to them. If they want to be involved in this big time boxing, then they've got to get on board and get involved. Now, this opens up lots of other questions. Now, Turki Sheikh is definitely a boxing fan. He loves boxing, right? But as I say, the reason is to draw eyes onto Saudi Arabia. But that being said, they're delivering. But you can't expect miracles overnight. They are evolving. They are improving with each event. And also, I think I've got a sneaking suspicion that they're paying a lot of attention, not just Turki Sheikh, but the whole team behind it are paying a lot of attention to social media, to YouTube channels, to broadcast channels, and what people are saying and the observations that people are making. Then they're taking note, and then they're tweaking things for the subsequent events. This is how they evolve. They need that outside opinion and an honest opinion so that they can improve. But we as boxing fans can't expect it to be right from the very word go. They need time to evolve, and they're evolving very, very quickly, and they're getting better and better. Now, does this mean that it's always going to be in Saudi Arabia? Well, the answer to that is, well, possibly not. You know, they are saying there's going to be a September boxing card here in London. There's going to be one in the United States sponsored by Saudi as well. But the bulk of it is always going to be over there. That's why they want to draw eyes to their country. Just because there were great boxing fights in Las Vegas or in New York or the UK doesn't mean that those three locations hold the monopoly on boxing events. They can be held anywhere. So there's been a bit of a friction. There's probably been some opinions given, and the other party hasn't quite liked what they're saying. But I get this impression by this olive branch being handed out by Turki Al-Sheikh is to say, look, we're listening. We get it. We understand some of the observations. We understand, but this is our point of view. And it's great that he is taking time to go onto a radio show and put his points forward and also open the door for more and more conversations. This is great. This is great not only for boxing, but the story behind boxing. It's really fantastic that these boxing events are coming on and the big fights are being made. And we just hope that more and more fights are going to be made. My question at the start of this was, well, we know it's always about marketing for Saudi Arabia. That wasn't the question. My question was, is this only going to be for heavyweight boxing? And are we going to see other weight divisions being promoted in Saudi Arabia as well? And what will be the fallout for the rest of the world? Will we get big time boxing elsewhere? Well, I think the last 12 months has kind of answered that for me, because we are getting big events in the UK, at least, of other fights that are taking place. Some of the domestic fight nights are just absolutely fantastic. So there's a lot to be said for the big fights being taken elsewhere. And this allows the rest of the boxing world that might not normally get the limelight to flourish and get their day in the sun. So I think it's a great thing that Saudi Arabia have taken on the mantle. They're throwing money at it and saying there's no excuses now. You want to fight? Here's the money. Let's do it. So it's a great thing that they're doing it. But we can't expect it to be brilliant overnight. We can't expect it to always work. It's going to be an evolution. So having TalkSport now involved in it and having all the promoters getting on, let's say, that's a topic for another video, of course. But it can only be a good thing. If we're getting the fights that we want to see, it's great. Now, from those who would question why it's always going to be in Saudi Arabia, well, you can always get on a plane to fly to Saudi Arabia as well, just like you could always fly to Las Vegas or New York if you wanted to. The question is, most people watching the boxing around the world are going to be watching it on TV, so it doesn't really make a difference, or online on a computer, whatever. So most people don't really care where it's being held. They just want to see the fight. They want the fight to take place. So Saudi Arabia right now and Turki Al-Sheikh are delivering that in spades. So that's got to be commended. Now, you could argue about the formats, you could argue about, which fights we really want to see and how quickly they're going to make these fights and how much money is being thrown at it and what the overall fallout will be long term. Yes, these are good discussions to have. And all parties should be able to be objective about this and receive criticism or receive observations as well. But for now, it's a good thing that we're getting these events, and leave politics out of it for me, because politics and that kind of thing, it's those kind of muddy the waters. If we're talking about sport, let's just talk about what is actually happening. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing that Saudi Arabia are doing these things. It's good that Turki Al-Sheikh has contacted TalkSport, and it's good that it's been well received as well. Let's hope we get a lot more boxing events, because the real risk is that you have all these big events by Saudi Arabia and they get criticised time and time again. And up to a point where they just think, do you know what? It's actually bringing bad PR now to our country, so we're going to wash our hands of this. And then that's the big fallout. If Saudi Arabia suddenly decide to duck out of big-time boxing, then there's going to be a huge void in the amount of money that's in the system. And that's one of the big questions. How long are they going to stay in boxing? And especially if they get negative press from around the world as well. Nobody says that you have to dot your cap to them at all. I'm not saying that at all. But you've got to be careful what you wish for. You've got to be careful of the criticism sometimes, especially criticism that is unfounded and also unwarranted. If it's warranted and if it's got some foundation, of course, yes, be critical. But for now, they're just putting on great boxing events and they're going to get better and better. So it's a good thing. Turki Al-Sheikh, well done. You got in touch with TalkSport. Hey, let's see what happens now. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. And I will catch you again on another video coming very soon. Bye now.